Our Sports Inquirer here with Coach Collier from Georgia Tech Volleyball. Overall impressions of this past weekend, you split on the road, went over Notre Dame, lost against Louisville. Just overall impressions of how the team performed in those matches.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like Notre Dame played really well. I mean, I think that our defense played a very good match, had tons of digs, and we were able to be pretty efficient with our serve receive and our offense. So I think that was a really good win for us on the road. Great team, very important win for us. And then at Louisville, we were a little more inconsistent. I felt like we played well, probably until the middle of sets over there. Second set, we had a big lead. We kind of gave up a big lead on that on 9 straight points to lose that set. And then on the third set, we were pretty even with them until about 15-14, and then we just kind of lost a little bit of our focus and kind of let them take over the match against a team like Louisville in their home court. And they've been having a great season, playing really well. So we needed to sustain a little more consistency and a little more focus throughout that match, and we just weren't able to hang it in there, put it all together.
We'll go back to the Notre Dame match. Two things. One, Gabby Benda had a strong performance with 52 assists. Just talk about her performance and just the offense overall. And Gabrielle also had a career high in kills. Just get the two Gabbies, just overall offensively, and how do you think you did overall with that regard?
I mean, I think they're both doing a great job. I mean, Gabby has been overwhelmed this whole season with just teams getting after her and her having to put up the numbers. But she leads the ACC in kills per set and kills, so she's definitely putting up the numbers. And it was just a match where she felt really confident, and so she just really got some good momentum going. Our outside spread really good. Ashley, I believe, had the career high in kills that match. So they both had a very strong match for us, and that's what they're capable of doing. And we're trying to get them more and more consistent with those type of performances on the floor. And Gabby Benda just she just started setting into that 5-1 when Nicole got hurt, and so she has to step up and just kind of fulfill that role and be on the court the whole time. But she's she's preparing herself. I think that ever since she's been here at Tech, she's been waiting for this opportunity to lead and run our offense, and she has the opportunity now to do that. And she definitely did a great job in Notre Dame, finding the hot hand and making sure their outsides kept getting fed. They were playing really well, and so it's our goal is to keep getting them better and getting our team to play a little more consistent. But we have showed some really good signs of greatness, and it's been really exciting about that.
I think about Notre Dame also had a season high 94 digs. Yeah. Is that a large amount? Do you look at that number and say, wow, we played well defensively, or do you look at it as like, wow, that's a lot of long rallies, we want to limit those amount of digs in a contest?
No, I mean, I will take that kind of performance any night. Digging, it's such as much as it's skill, there's a lot of grit and power, and just really showed our mentality that match. We really weren't giving up on balls. We really played really hard, left it all out there, and I think that's what this team is capable of doing. And to be able to put up 20-some digs per set, I mean, that's just an outrageous number. We always talk about our goal being between 13 and 15 per set, so just being able to overcome that against such a great team like Notre Dame just speaks about the mindset that we had that game, and then that we need to learn from and just kind of be able to put up that kind of fight every night that we get on the floor.
And you mentioned the Louisville match getting swept. Was it really more strategic issues or effort issues? What do you think were just the mishaps in that contest?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Louisville's a good team, and they're very balanced in their offense, and it started from our serve where they were very comfortable and in system a lot. And then it went back to our defense where we weren't just pursuing balls the way that we were pursuing balls on Friday. And then same thing with our serve receive. Gabby was having to run around the court too much to kind of run our offense. Our middles played a great match, so when we did have the ball to the setter, we were pretty efficient. But we were out of system a lot, and so that made it harder on our outsides against such a strong blocking and defensive team to be able to score, and so they really couldn't perform any close to what they performed on Friday. So it was a combination of a lot of things that we've been struggling with this season a little bit, just our consistency. I mean, we got to be able to. It was two completely different teams, from that Friday to that Sunday, and it's our goal as a team is to just find that consistent identity of who we are, and we know what we're capable of. So we are working hard to just kind of find out what is it that's going to make us click and help us to have those kind of performances a little more often.
Now you have Boston College and Syracuse here at home this weekend. Does it help having them? You played them, I think, 2 weekends ago at their places.
Yeah.
Does it help having them be here recently as far as scouting them and preparing? I know you always look at the match at hand, but can you also, because you've already played them, you can look at 2 matches ahead as far as preparing for them?
Those matches are fresh in our minds. We also lost those matches, so they're very fresh in our minds. We left with a feeling that we could have done better, and so I think that we'll get a chance to prove that. This weekend at home with rematching them and being able to hopefully fix some of the things that we didn't do well and that we wanted to have done better when we did play those teams. We feel like there are 2 very good teams, and we're excited to get them on our home court, and it definitely it helps that we played in such a small period of time. I mean, everything, it's the scouting report, the image of the match is very fresh in our minds, and it will help us just kind of remember what we have to do, and then we can focus on our side a little bit more because we feel like we already understand what the other side's trying to do. You
mentioned consistency. Well, how do you work on that in practice or just in preparation? Because I said you had at Syracuse, Louisville played really well, Louisville not so much. How do you work on that, especially with a team with a large amount of underclassmen as you have?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit normal, right, with a young team, but it's also, we talk about a lot. We talk about just coming into the gym and developing an identity as a player that you always play hard and you're always with high energy, you're always communicating. And so it's part of just creating that culture. I think that we fight for it, but I don't know that we know how to get ourselves to do those things often, and as a coaching staff, we really try to be consistent with what our standards are and our expectations are, so they know that they need to be met on a daily basis. And then it's individually, each player has to find their own mindset on how they come into practice and how they approach practice and how are they pushing themselves and maximizing the opportunities to get better so that our team continues to get better. So it's a little bit of self-accountability, I think, out of everyone, out of the coaching staff, out of the players, and everybody just really buying into, hey, these are things that we need to do every day in order for them to become a reality once we get on the court, and so that we have a little more confidence that that's what we're going to bring every day. Is if we're not doing that every day in practice, then it's going to be really hard to mimic that in matches. So I think it starts with us being better in practice, so that once we get on the road and we get into those adverse situations and we face those great teams, that we have confidence that we grind it out. We've done this in practice. This one practice was really hard, and we made it through it, and we killed those drills, and so they have that confidence to do that. And so our goal is to create that environment for them, and then help them be successful in the practice environment, and then transfer over to the court. And of course, the experience helps with that. So as our players get older, we become a little more consistent with just their game. But I think that we have not only a lot of young kids, but we have a lot of players in very new roles. Both Ashley and Gabby did play an outside position role that they had to be all the time consistently and sort of receive and being scouted and being defended and being served on, and so all those things are it takes time for players to get adjusted to it, and they've done a great job adjusting to it. And our goal is to continue to get better. And we still got a lot matches, 12 more matches to get in, and our goal is to play our best volleyball here in the last 10 matches.